Wait, what? The Malice and the Palace. No, we ain't talking about Indiana Pacers versus the Detroit Pistons. We talking about Meghan Markle, Prince Harry versus the family. It's going down right now. I mean, we out here talking about people discussing the color of the babies. Huh? We talking about racism all up in the house? Come on, man. Meghan didn't understand that or what she was signing up for. So she had an interview, her and she had an interview with Oprah, and she disclosed a few things. So out of the things that she disclosed, did you guys watch the interview and what were your thoughts on it?
I did watch the interview, and I wasn't surprised that she experienced like racism. Just because I mean it's literally Buckingham Palace, like it's the royal family. They have a lot of history of racism. But I was surprised by that I guess let me go back. I wasn't surprised that she experienced racism, but that doesn't negate like it was still shocking to hear some of the things that were still said. Like but I think what really I was surprised about was the whole like suicidal situation where basically during the interview she disclosed that she had like vivid suicidal thoughts to the point where she didn't feel safe being by herself. And the institution, as they refer to it, wouldn't like allow her to get help. And it's kind of like, wow, like y'all really didn't care if she was really going to be out here killing herself. Like that's crazy to me. But the whole thing about like being concerned about her son's skin complexion, like of course that's terrible, but at the same time it also is a racist institution. So yeah, but that's my thoughts. How about you, Scott?
I think that it's crazy that we even having this conversation in regards to Meghan Markle. I think that she is really, it's a shame, to be honest, because I don't know if she expected this, anticipated it, or what, but to have a child and within the royal family, and I forgot what is the official role of the child, the official title. You muted, which is it?
V, you mute.
My bad. The child would have been Prince because it's actually like in the bloodline. So once Queen Elizabeth passes away and Prince Henry's father becomes king,
Mm-hmm.
then Prince Henry's son would also carry the title of Prince.
All right, that shit kind of complicated, but yeah, I got you. So he gonna be the prince, right? Basically, he gonna be the prince. So the prince.
You saw Lion King. You know what's going on here. Come on, stop playing.
Word. The prince, you got to think to yourself as a black woman, like, yo, I'm about to bring this child into this family who has endorsed years and years of colonization, white supremacy, and racism. It is written. It's in the books. So when you,
Nice.
huh?
No, go ahead.
Oh, all right. But when you when you have this child and you're like, oh my God, the one drop rule is real. Yeah, it's real. Yes, it is. They don't want nobody in the royal family to be black. They don't want that. They don't want you that associated with that interrupts the purity of the royal family. The royal family is supposed to be white, pasty white at that. And
obviously,
yeah. And that's really what it is. Like that's what they represent. They have media members of the media going at Meghan. Piers Morgan. Y'all know Piers Morgan? Y'all seen what happened with him? How he stormed off? They was coming at him, and he quit Good Morning Britain. They got Good Morning America, Good Morning Britain. He quit Good Morning Britain.
Wait, he quit? Yes, I missed that part.
He quit.
Wow.
Piers Morgan he's a host of a couple of different shows, but this one, Good Morning Britain, he's always attacking Meghan Markle, and he is the spokesperson for the royal family. He loves the queen and he loves all the royal people. And he a dick rider. That's neither here nor there.
Basically,
Gotcha. They could do no wrong in his eyes. And they was coming at him like, "Yo, you mad because Meghan dubbed you? She ghosted him. He wanted to get with her, and she dubbed him, and now he mad. So now
I'll talk about it.
Right. So, nevertheless, though, I just think that it's really a shame, like, to see so much. First of all, media attention around this, for real. It bothers the hell out of me that this shit gets so much attention. But also, secondly, just her having to go through that as a Black woman, even though I feel like she kind of set herself up with that, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah.
No, this is here. That's what it is.
It's here.
Talk about it. No, talk about it. You saying that she set herself up. I want to hear how she set herself up.
She did. She set herself up because she as a Black woman trying to raise a Black child or bring in a child who has Black in them into a family of racist. I want to say, because then I'm like, oh, they're not racist. They're fucking racist. Racists and white supremacists who have benefited and built their entire wealth off the backs of Black people, off the backs of unpaid labor and colonialism and genocide. To then expect them to accept a Black child into their family is just,
I mean, I hear you.
You should have did your research.
I know we all do expect things to, change, I guess, over time. You know what I mean? Just because America built itself off of slave labor don't mean I expect to be put in fucking chains tomorrow and whipped. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I guess in her mind, if I can speak for her, what her expectations were, they obviously raised a child or a grandson or whatever he is to whoever, you know what I'm saying, to love who he loves, and he chose to marry her. I'm pretty sure he had a lot of nice women from where he's from that looks just like him that wanted to mess with him, but he chose her. So I guess in her mind, she's like, it's a change somewhere along the line. Something. You know what I mean? And maybe I'm not walking into such a bad situation. And obviously, you know what I mean, she was wrong to a degree, but I get where she would expect just a little better.
I want to ask a question. If Meghan Markle looked like V, you think she would have been accepted into the family?
Absolutely not.
I think Meghan Markle and V look alike.
Really? No, I meant, what I meant.
Meghan is lighter than me, though. Out.
Yeah, you know exactly what I meant when I said that.
Yeah, I was about to say Meghan is okay. Basically, what I'm trying to say is Meghan, if Meghan can't get accepted into their family, no Black person ever will, because she is almost as light as you possibly can get.
Can I be real? I didn't know she was Black at first. I was like, she Black?
She's very, very fair skin, and she's mixed. So I mean, she identifies as Black, but
obviously
she comes from a family of Black and white. Go ahead.
I guess you saying would she be accepted in the family, or are you asking, do you think Prince Harry would have married V if she looked,
if she was V's complexion?
Yeah, because those are two different questions. Because obviously it was his decision. It wasn't theirs. Because if it was their decision, he wouldn't even marry her. I'm pretty sure it's another young woman by the name of Karen that they probably wanted them to marry anyway. Like, why won't you marry Karen? Come on. He was like, no, Mom, I love who I love. So, we probably had that whole speech. You know what I'm saying? Love is love. I like her. So I guess the question would be, would he have married V? You know what I mean? If V was set up on that blind date. And I think the answer probably was yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get the impression that Prince Harry is well, one, I don't think he's racist like the rest of his family, because I do think that Prince Harry is a lot like his mother, Princess Diana, and the royal family hated his mother. They treated her terribly. I don't know if people have like gone back and watched, old interviews where she talked about how mistreated she was in that home and how they didn't accept her and how she tried to do things differently. And I think for Prince Harry, I think he took on a lot of his mother's traits, whereas his
Right.
brother took on a lot of his father's traits. So because even like, so when I went to London, I got to actually go to the place that Princess Diana grew up. I saw where she was buried. Like they have this beautiful like burial site. It's in like a middle of a lake, like a little island that's like in the middle of this lake or whatever. And like it's a tree for Nelson Mandela because she was very close to him. And so they planted a tree there for him, and he was one of the few people who was actually allowed to go to her burial site after she passed away. Because they have like a boat that you have to take to get there. But all of that to say, not that I'm saying like, oh, Nelson Mandela, she's not racist. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm
She
just
got
saying
black
that,
friends. I got you.
right. I'm just saying that like you would never hear something like that from anybody else from the royal family. Like
Right.
you're not seeing, you're not going to anybody else's burial site from the royal family and they have a black man like with a tree planted at their site to give
Right.
him respects because of his relationship to her, type of thing. So like, just knowing the history of how they treated Princess Diana and seeing how Prince Harry has kind of always, like, if you watch um like his engagement with the family and even in public compared to a lot of like the rest of the royal family, you could tell he was the rebel of the family. Like he did
Right.
not fit in. Like he was clearly the oddball out, and it was similar to his mother. His mother was the oddball out. So in reference to answering your question, I don't think that Prince Harry himself, like if Meghan Markle was my complexion, I don't think he would have like not been attracted to her and not given her the time of day. I just think it just so happened that she was who she was. But
Right.
you can tell by that wedding that Meghan Markle is very, very comfortable with her black culture.
Absolutely.
So
If you tuned in, then you know.
right. Right.
So I mean, I guess I would ask V, would you have married Harry? Or would you have been like, nah, dog, I don't like you peoples and all that, but y'all been getting into with my peoples back in the day. This ain't the time, sir.
To be honest, I don't see myself ever dating a white man.
Okay.
No shade, but I just don't see that.
Prince or
But
not.
Not
right.
even a
But let's
multi-billionaire.
I don't see it. If it happens, it happens. It's just I don't see it personally. Like for me, I really love the idea of creating and establishing a black family. I think it's very important for me when I have children having a black father figure in the household. Like I value the importance of that. So I don't see myself marrying a white man. But if I was in that circumstance, I do think that a lot of like I would have really had to think about that before saying yes. But after watching the interview, I have to say that I can understand how Meghan found herself in that circumstance because prior to them getting married, his family put her under the impression that they were going to protect her. And prior
Right.
to her, like, being publicly seen with the entire family, they had done so. They were kind of protecting her in a way when they were just like dating, when they were just like, boyfriend, girlfriend, and then maybe when they got engaged. But when that whole thing happened in Australia, where she kind of was finally seen with the entire royal family, it was very simple. Like the reactions that she got and how she portrayed herself to the public was very similar to how Princess Diana was. Princess Diana was a people person. She was very personable. She would go up, shake people's hands, and that's something that they don't normally do. And that's what
Right.
Meghan Markle was doing. And so I feel like when Prince Harry said during the interview that um he felt like it was one of the same, that's kind of what I feel like he was referring to, was kind of like his family saw her as like Princess Diana, but even worse because she's black. So, right. So I understand how she found herself in that because it was kind of like, oh, his family's accepting me, like blah, 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 blah. It's fine. And then when all of that happened, everything flipped. So,
Scott, it seems like you got something.
I'm just all right.
You did the famous Scott Squint.
Yeah, I'm gonna just be real, right? Why are we talking? No, I'm just no. What you were saying, V, your analysis of the situation, I'm fucking with it. But the situation that you're analyzing, I'm not fucking with it because why? First of all, why do we care about the British royal family again? Somebody let me know.
Because of Meghan Markle.
No. What I mean by that, not just us in this room, but everybody, the media, the American media, the world media. Like, why are they so important to me in particular? Like, why do I need to go turn on the news and see the royal family?
You asking us?
Yeah, I'm asking. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, I have no
You're like
idea.
Really asking us?
I'm dead serious.
So
I literally don't know.
I think the royal family is always going to have some type of like global impact because of like how much like quote unquote value, like as Black people we don't see it that way, but quote unquote value that they bring to the world, because it's like a historical family. When you look at like even the American system, like the founding fathers of this country came from that area, so it's kind of like I get what you're saying of like, why does this matter to us? But I also understand why it matters to us, because I think it's eye-opening for us to see how racist, I guess, like globally things still are. Like, I know that we know that, but it's just to have it confirmed like that, and to have it confirmed from somebody who was actually in that family, because we're talking about Meghan Markle's part of that interview, but we haven't really discussed the things Prince Henry actually confirmed in that interview. And he confirmed pretty much everything that his wife said. He just refused to speak on the conversation about the skin complexion,
the skin
of
color,
his son.
yeah.
Right, but everything, but I mean, he still confirmed that it happened. He just refused.
He just said it wasn't my grandmom and granddad. That's all I'm saying.
Well, actually, he didn't even say that in the interview. That was something he said in private to Oprah.
He said in private, like
yeah, he said it in private, and Oprah made that public.
He's like, Oprah, come here real quick. Let me tell you something. But I think, if you were done, I think that we do. I guess my analysis is not that astute. It's just as simple as they're famous, and why do we cut on TV and look at the Kardashians? And why is half of the shit that we look at in the news? Like, it's not that important. Why do we, kind of hold these people that really shouldn't be in our face when there's real world issues, but they are over, the little goofy stuff that happens? Why is people divorces all up when we got real world problems going on? So I think for me, it's as simple as that.
Well, I think it's also bigger than that, though. I also feel like Meghan Markle was kind of like the way that people looked at it, especially people outside of like the UK. I think that they looked at it as like a breath of fresh air, because she's the first woman of color to be in the royal family. And right. Even though I'm sure behind the scenes, we all felt like she probably was experiencing some form of racism or some form of whatever, just because
we knew
of that institution. Right. But to see how everything, happened, and to see her getting dragged, and to see how like the institution didn't protect her in any way. And then finally we get to hear her side of the story. And she was very honest. Like, she didn't really hold back much. I could tell she was trying to hold back a little bit, but she was also like, listen, this is what happened. I feel like that's why it matters, though. It's just because of like, that was historical. Like, she's the first woman really to be married into that family of color. And their baby is the first child of color to be a part of the royal family. So I feel like I get what you're saying, Scott, but I just think that I understand why it matters to people, because it's historical.
No, I get why it may matter to British people, because that's how they built their fucking country, through the royal family. That's how those are the people who used to make the decisions. Those are the people who colonized all them countries that gave them their wealth. That's how they built Great Britain. So I understand that. But my thing is, in the media, what the media will do is they'll bring a story up, right? But they won't give it a true and deep journalistic analysis. And I think that's my biggest pet peeve about it, is that these people sit on these these jewels. They have jewels. They have what do you call those things that they be these things that they hold in their hand, the crown and the cape and all that. The scepter. There you go. I couldn't think of it.
The royal scepter.
Yeah, they have all these and they just grandiose.
All these trinkets.
Yeah, and it's like, but you're really not talking about nothing. You're just like, oh look, it's pretty, it's shiny. And then when real stuff happens, right? When real stuff happens, they keep that same energy, that very superficial, they try to protect their image. They try to not go delve into what is really going on and what the true issues is. And I think they also vilify people when they actually do try to do that. When somebody tries to call white supremacy, it's a problem. They're race baiting. They're race baiting.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. If I were to go on national television and say the things that I wanted to say, like, yeah, the jewels that the Spectre has, that was from Africa. They stole that shit from Africa. They what? Oh my gosh. No.
Why you always gotta make it about race, bro?
And that I think that's the biggest part of my problem, is that there's not an allowance for a healthy criticism of what goes on. And it's like they tiptoe around what really is, and they lessen the vocabulary that they use. It makes it seem like it's less than what it actually is. You feel me?
Right.
And I think that's a problem to me, and that's my biggest issue.
So your biggest issue is the whole system.
Yeah, it's not.
No, because you're right though. I mean, that's a problem to have though. I'm not mad at that. That's a real problem to have, like the whole, because that's the system.
It's just the media. That's just my thing. Like the way the media portrays it, and the way the media, it's I don't know. It's not a healthy balance of criticism and uplifting. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's just all here and never,
And that's why I talk heavy is here, because we're here to change media. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We want to give y'all the proper amount of good and bad.
Nobody can compare, we incomparable.